Welcome back to the Krita class video. Today we're going to go over the updated text options within Krita. We're only going to go over the tool options, and we'll go over the Docker itself in the next video because both parts are pretty extensive and I don't want these videos to be too long and too stuffed with information that it's hard to follow. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on our text tool and we're going to go over to our layers Docker, and we're going to make a new vector layer so this works properly. So we're going to click, you can drag wherever. The font's going to be the same, the font size is going to be the same. It doesn't really matter how far you click and drag. So if I were to redo this, I'm going to click here, same thing. The only thing that's really changing is this line spacing. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So we can see right off the bat the difference in the text options from previous versions, which gave us a full pop-up, which we could edit text, change the fonts, all that good stuff. Like I said, we're only going to focus on the tool options. I'm actually going to drag this out so we can take a look at everything. So if you work with text and other software, you know that Krita was lacking in pretty much a lot. Now we have way more options and features we can use to modify our text and keep it more customizable and more flexible with what we need to use the text for. If you just click without dragging, your text will automatically be pre-formatted. If you click and drag, your text will automatically be inline wrapped. You can have little bars on the side to adjust the width of the text box. So if you want it to always be inline wrapped, just make sure to click and drag to get that setting on by default. So real quick, if you open text properties, this is actually going to bring up that text properties Docker, which we'll go over in the next video, because that's where all the fun stuff is going to happen. So you don't actually have to go to settings, Docker, and then open it up that way. You can just go right to your tool options and open the text properties. I'm going to close that for now. If you go to current text properties, it's just like whatever we're changing right now. If you uncheck it, you can actually choose a style preset that you have already made or imported for somebody else. I don't have any saved at this time, but if you have text and you always want to use a specific font size, settings you want to be consistent throughout whatever use case it's for, that's where you would go to change it, just under your presets. After the text properties, we have some options here. Use visual cursor. It's supposed to be for bidirectional text. I tried to get an example of how to make it what it would look like, and I couldn't find any information on it. I tried making shapes and putting it on a curve so it's like a perfect circle curve. And I couldn't find any videos like giving me a good example of it. So I don't know what that specifically looks like. I didn't see any visual change when I went to check it on and off. So paste rich text by default. If you are working with a script, for example, or we're going to go to the lorem ipsum generator, we copy this, go back to Krita, we can paste it, just default text. We can do that. If you want to just do the paste rich text, we can do that as well. You can see there's a little bit of a difference here. The lorem ipsum is being pasted as is. It's got the text up on the line here. And if I do it the other way, it's going to go below this little boundary line here, this paragraph line. Personally, I would probably keep it as rich text. That way you just paste it in, you can just apply a preset to it or modify it and create it as needed. But if you don't care, you just need to throw some stuff in here for quick reference, you can just leave it off. Right, so we do have typesetting mode, which is right here. If we click on that and click on this box, you see we have more lines showing than before. If we turn this off, those lines disappear and it's just like a plain text box. If we turn typesetting mode on, we have more options. And I'm gonna try and do this very carefully because I almost crashed Krita. You can actually modify these lines. You can change the spacing between each text line. You can change the positioning here of the text box, where it starts. And if you look at it ever so carefully, you can see this line here is font size. We have 2 line height and font size, so it just kind of repeats itself for each line. So if you want to do things quickly without having to modify anything in the text properties, this would be the way to do it. Just be careful you don't go crazy with it because it is a little bit sensitive in terms of what you're clicking and the spacing. I'm finding that if you just move the mouse left to right, you'll have a much easier time controlling the spacing and the font size versus going up and down. We also have Edit SVG Source. We open that up. You can see this is basically the same of the old text tool, where we can go in and use code to modify our text. We can change the appearance of it. So for example, text fill, this is black. If I just go in, pick random letters and colors here, I'll just hit save. Save and then close it. Oh, let me change that again. Let me highlight everything and then change my hex code here. Hit save, there we go. I just put in random codes. I didn't pick anything specific. So I changed it to grain. So if you're familiar with code and you like to modify things individually through code for some reason, you can still do that within Krita. I'm gonna undo that. We have a glyph palette. So all the special characters are going to be in here. I don't have any glyph alternatives because I don't think I picked a font to have any alternatives, but our character map, you can see we have some Chinese characters. We have the usual, like these little icons here. I don't know what they all are for. We have some fractions. The cent signs, I think this is the yen. All sorts of symbols that you usually would want to use for disclaimers. For example, we have a copyright and registered symbol, which you may want to use if you're referencing something that is copyrighted or a registered trademark, or you need specific characters for these little accents over the letters for specific languages. There's just all sorts of stuff in here, and you can search. I don't know the names of half these things, so I'm not going to search anything. But this is a really nice little box. You can go ahead and search for everything. Trademark, general punctuation. I can't speak. Yeah, so you can go through and find things that you need. And hit cancel. All right, so we're gonna go and back to our text box, make sure it's selected. We have pre-formatted. So I'm gonna quick show you. If I adjust this text box with this little bar here, move it, you can see it's adjusting and automatically wrapping it as needed. If I go ahead and click pre-formatted, I no longer can do that. So this is basically just as I'm typing, let me get some more code or some text here. When I paste that in, it's just gonna extend it. It is no longer gonna automatically wrap. So I would have to go in and manually do my line breaks with Shift Enter. However, as I go to inline wrapped, oops, close that, and I hit paste, it automatically wraps for me because this is the size of the text box I want. You can see this little line pop back up. So if I were to extend this out and I delete this, and I paste that back in, it's gonna fill in the length of the text box that I have here. Actually just over here as well. So that's where you want to change how you want your text box to be, if you want it to be auto wrapped or not. And it varies based on what you're using it for. Maybe you just want to copy the text in there for quick reference and then modify the spacing manually. If you have a very unique situation where the auto wrap can't be positioned in a way that it gives you the right line breaks that you want to use, which is totally fine. I know with word balloons for comics, you like to manually do the line breaks sometimes to make the text look nicer in the word balloons. But again, all up to you in the use case that you have. I'm going to move this over here. And then we have pre-positioned. So this is how Krita used to handle text. So I'm just going to delete this and paste it. And it was all on a single line. So kind of like when we had the pre-formatted off. So if you have other files that are older that you want to bring back in, it's going to be pre-positioned by default, I believe, if I'm reading everything correctly. So you can't modify the sizing at all. You actually can't even go and hit enter key to make your own line breaks. It's just straight text, a straight line, straight all that. So you would have either multiple text boxes to split things up if you really wanted to go that route for whatever reason, or you have to go back and you have to change it to inline wrapped or pre-formatted to get the line breaks that you want either automatically or manually. All right, so now that we have that done, we actually want to do a quick look at how to do the text on a path with shape. So I'm just going to make a sphere, and before I continue, I will say doing this repeatedly did crash Krita a couple times for me. So it could just be my computer having conflicts with resourcing as I'm recording. It may just be me. So, but if you are having issues where it's crashing repeatedly after doing multiple iterations of text in a path or shape, whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. That way I can say, hey, people are having some issues. We might look into this, see if we can repeat this situation to the Krita devs. All right, without further ado though, we can finally put text on a path. So in my video looking at the updates, I went over what the visual icons were going to be to dictate whether it's going to be on a path or within the shape itself. So on a path, we have the text, the little t, we have a line underneath that. That's signifying text on a path. If we go within the shape, the t is inside this little leaf symbol, and that's text within the shape. So if we click on that, I'm just going to hit paste. Now we have our text within the shape. I'm going to undo that. So I went and just Control Z that. And now we're going to do text on a path. And as you can see, we have text in the path. And we can change if we want it inside or out by just flipping this little dot here, and we can move it around and reposition it as needed. So that's just the basic of that. And we'll go over to more modifying things and making more complicated shapes and stuff like that, and looking more in depth to the settings for this. But that's basically how you want to get started with the new Krita text options between just the tool options and the text on a path or within a shape. In the next video, we're going to go over a little bit more of the advanced features and settings to modify the text within the shape and kind of change things up there. So that is it for this video to go over the tool options. Your homework is actually going to be to try and play around with copying text within Krita, changing your typesetting mode, changing the line spacing here, and playing with the types of wrapping. Whether you want to do it automatically by changing the size of the text box or doing it manually with the pre-formatted option, which is totally valid. And then I want you to at least get familiar with putting text either in a shape or on a path. You can either make your own custom path with the Bezier curve or just use the basic shapes that we have here in the tool options. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to share this video with someone who is struggling with text in Krita. This might help them and find settings they didn't know existed before, especially because this feature is brand new. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.